This is going to be a world versus world commentary of the condition Chronomancer build. If you want to see the build listed out, then check out the description. But basically, it's going to be using the staff and the axe. Now, with the Secrets of the Obscure allowing you to use the axe on Chronomancer, it has a little bit more kill potential to chase targets, whereas normally you'd just be chasing people down and they can just run from you. And it still kind of has that issue, but you have a lot of burst damage now, so if you do catch people off guard, you can definitely get a lot of kills. So let's start out by looking at a situation here. I'm being chased down by a renegade. I'm pretty low. I use the mirror heal to reflect a little bit, give me some more time, and now I go into the Torch 4 stealth. I know that I can go back in for a burst after I use the Torch 4 because there is a delayed fire blast, but I instead choose to go in for more stealth and look for a better opening. So there's the Torch 5 in melee, Axe 3, Axe 2, that's generally the combo, so we use that, and the Reaper got hit by the second Axe, or the Torch 5, so we have a decent amount of pressure on the Reaper, so I want to shatter my F2 in there and create some more clones with the staff, wait for my next burst to finish them off. So we're going to probably go in here. My Continuum Rift is coming off cooldown, so I'm going to use my mirror images so I can do a full Continuum Split burst, but I get CC'd and don't really get any value out of my Continuum Rift. Torch 4 and Torch 5 off, basically from the double cast there, and I'm going to blink twice here with the Staff 2 backwards and the blink in with Distortion to get that stomp secured. But yeah, basically using Torch 4 and Torch 5 gives you a lot of your burst, and that's why you always want to use that in Continuum Split, because you get 2 of them, and that's going to allow you to get these kills. But now I'm in a 1v1 with a Renegade, and I've used a lot of my cooldowns on the Reaper, so I'm kind of pressured. I can't really pressure them back as much, so I'm using the staff here, kiting a little bit, and I use the Staff 5 at range. It's not usually the best idea to do that. You want to use it usually in melee range so that you get the boons and they get the conditions, but sometimes CCing them is good enough. So we're just auto attacking with Axe here, using the Axe 2, trying to pressure them, waiting for our burst to come up. I get CC'd though, so I'm forced to use some cooldowns, which is going to prevent me from really pressuring them. So I go in stealth here. I use my staff. You have to be careful using mass invisibility here because your staff auto attack bounces and that can reveal you. So I made sure to not use any of that before going in stealth here. And now there's another Necromancer on me. So I'm going to use my burst again, but I have to be careful. I use the Axe 2 without a target because that'll give me some movement. My Torch 4 is coming up. I'm going to go in with that, but I can't really capitalize on the burst too well. I do use the Continuum Split with the Staff 3, which honestly was a bad play because you can't really do too much burst with the staff. So yeah, I kind of wanted to finish the Renegade, but they're kind of tanky and I don't really want to be focusing them, so I should really be retargeting to this Necro here. And actually the Renegade disengages entirely, so I can take out the Harbinger solo, but I'm also really pressured from taking on the 1v2, so I'm just kiting with my staff, waiting for the right situation. And it looks like they're actually trying to disengage, so I detarget my Staff 2 to get in range. I use my Torch 4, Axe 3, and they poured away, so I'm going to kite a little bit, wait for my next opening. I blinked in there to get my Torch 5 in melee range, so that we'll get the extra burning on that burst. And we have to distort this because we get knocked up by the life drain there. And yeah, they're just going to die from the residual condies here. So yeah, that's pretty much going to be a kill there. Now here's a situation where I am being camped in a very nice jumping puzzle spot that allows me to survive in outnumbered situations. There's a lot of new players that don't know how to play against condition builds, and this is just going to show you how easy it is to get kills on those newer players. Generally this build will require a lot more knowledge to kill more experienced players, but if you just watch me do my full combo with the Continuum Split, doing both my Torch Phantasms, and then I just take out 2 people. So just spamming all of your Torch skills in melee range twice is usually good enough to kill people because it does so much damage with the confusion and the burning. And we've got a third person down. We got to cleave them with our Axe auto attack, but they get the revive because we pretty much use all of our cooldowns. I'm going to use my Torch 5 again, go in stealth, And I could go into melee range to get the torch 4 blast. Yeah, here it is. And we're just going to axe 3 them. So yeah, that's like what? 3 or 4 players are going to die here just from just spamming all of my skills. So obviously the build can do a lot of damage, but against better players, it's going to require a lot more to do that. So next we'll check out a more experienced player that plays around my cooldowns. So here's a 1v1 with a Willbender. Guardians have pretty good Condi cleanse, but also Willbender is not really a 1v1 build, so it can kind of go either way. Willbender is really powerful right now. Condi Chrono is it's kind of mid-tier. So this is kind of an even-ish matchup, if not in favor of me. So we need to bait out their cooldowns, but also not instantly die to their burst. So we need to use Staff 2 whenever they port on me, and then we want to use our stealth to disengage when they're right on top of us, or using one of their big cooldowns like their F3, where they just can't be hit or they get value out of trading blows with me. So here I've used my distortion. I'm going to go into stealth after my distortion runs out. I'm going to go in with my axe 3 when my torch 4 is about to time out, and therefore I'll get the fire blast there. They're forced into their elite skill so they can use their cooldown, so I want to be blinking away during that. I have pretty much no cooldowns here, so I'm going to go into mass invisibility. I have Chaos Storm, and I can create some clones soon enough. I'm just waiting for cooldowns here while I'm in stealth. I blink away as soon as they blink in. You don't want to preemptively blink, because then they'll just blink on you. Now I'm going to get pulled most likely here, but yeah, they're getting pressured pretty heavily, and we get the kill just because they ran out of cooldowns. Here's a 1v1 against a Harbinger, where I'm going to need to do a lot of damage while also preventing a lot of damage, because Harbingers have probably one of the best 1v1 kits in the game. So I need to really maximize my cooldowns to win. And I'm going to use my Torch 4 and 5 here with Continuum Rift. I use all of my Shatters as well if I can. Use them again. And that's going to do a good amount of burst to the Necro here, but it only gets them to half health before they cleanse all of those conditions. I use the Staff 5 in melee range so that we get the boons and they get the conditions and get CC'd. I actually reflect there with my mirror, but they use their vital draw, so I need to use distortion here. I can't follow through with any shatters because I have to use distortion. And I'm going to go in stealth here with the torch. They use their elite though, so I really need to back off during this time. And I should probably be going in stealth right now, but I don't, and they're just trucking me with their auto attack. So we're taking a lot of pressure now, and the mass invisibility is going to last, but yeah, I try to blind them there. I get my heal off, but I think I had poison on me, so that was really unideal. I stealth, but I still get hit by the 2 skill from their shroud, taking a lot of damage. I have to distort before I'm able to get my stealth. Weapon swap to get those last Condis off me, and I'm at like 2,000 health, and they're at full because Harbingers have a lot of passive regeneration. I use my blind in melee range, and then I back off, use my burst, but I tank the weakness shroud, so I'm in a really bad spot again. But I did get them quite low because they're attacking through confusion, trying to finish me off, and I have my Continuum Rift up soon, so I'm going to probably try to use that soon. I use it in staff, which is usually not the best, but you can still get some value off of a double Phantasm and a double Chaos Storm. And I just cleansed 10 confusion off of me because they're running transfers, so they transferred my confusion back onto me. But we're going to do a double burst here because they just used their cleanse, so I want to go in for damage. So I go in for the axe burst with the torch, and I'm just using all of my shatters, even the F1, because that's just going to be required to finish them off. They're really low. They get that last cleanse off, and I blink in to use my F1 to get a little bit more torment, and then I'm going to follow through with my axe and just auto attack them to get the kill. Now here's a situation where I'm in a camp and I'm trying to capture the camp, but the enemy is being reinforced. So I immediately jump on this berserker here because usually power berserkers are pretty free kills. They instantly die, and I distortion stomp them, and then I'm going to reset and look for the next kill. So I back off with the Staff 2. I see the longbow ranger is probably a good idea, so I blink on top of them, create some clones. I use the Staff 4 in melee, and then I immediately swap to my burst set. I know that the Torch 4 is going to give me burning in melee range, so I stay in melee range as long as I can. and they tank all of the condies there. Now I'm going to use mass invisibility to go for the stomp. I even use mirror images just to distract them a little bit more. And now I'm going to back off again. I use my axe 3 to retarget and kind of like displace myself. I'm going to back off with the staff 2, create the staff 5 on myself to peel a little bit, and now I'm going to go for the staff weaver. These are pretty free kills here. These are just like daily players, but you can see the kind of burst windows that I'm going for here. I use staff to back off and create clones for my next burst, and then I go in with the axe 3 and axe 2, torch 5 and stuff like that, and then go for the kill. So like if your enemies are just giving you free kills like this, then you can kind of do the rotation very strictly like this. But in those 1v1s where I'm taking a lot more pressure, then obviously you're going to need to react, and you're not going to be able to flawlessly perform all of your skills. And usually when people run from you, it's kind of hard to land your damage, so it can be an issue. Now here's another 1v1 against a Virtuoso. Virtuosos have pretty good unblockable attacks, which counters my Reflect from the mirror and the Aegis that I'm going to get, so I really need to time my dodges very well. But I also need to pressure them because that'll usually be better than just dodging. So my window is going to be with the axe burst, right? But I also want to be doing flawless shatter. So whenever I shatter with 3 clones, I get another clone for free. And if I shatter again, that means that I get a double clone, right? Because my character counts as a shatter. So if I do a triple shatter and then I do a single shatter, that's a 4 plus 2 shatter. So that's a 6 shatter. But if I use mirror images after I get that extra clone, that gives me 3 clones again, and then I can do another shatter with 4, or basically 3 clones. So if you do a triple shatter into mirror images into a single shatter, you're doing a 10 shatter. So this is the kind of burst that you want to get to like one-shot people on a Condi Chrono. So you want to start out with like your F2, then do your F3, and then with mirror images, and then do your F1. And that will generally be like what, 10 torment plus like 15 confusion. It's a lot of damage. So yeah, pretty much what I want to do is land those kind of like double bursts on them with the triple shatter into the single clone shatter. And then we're just kind of like watching the animations of the Virtuoso not getting hit by the main shatters that they're doing. So once again, we're in this 1v1, and it looks like right now I'm just gathering clones. I lost all of my clones there, so we're going to have to do damage from our Phantasms at this point, using the Torch 5, but they evade it. And now I'm going to do this. That's the 10 shatter right there. I just did it. I just shattered all of my clones, mirror images, F3 into the F1, and they just cleansed it all, but we got a lot of their cooldowns out from that. I used my Continuum Rift to get into stealth. Not ideal, but I had to do it to survive. And now I'm going to use my Staff 2 to get more clones on them. Virtuosos don't have the benefit of the clones pressuring, while other mesmers do. So we use the Torch 4. They dodge so that I don't get the Torch 4 on them. Actually, I did get it. They dodged a little bit early. So I got the burning on them, which is ticking and doing a lot of damage. You can see the 1.5k ticks. Pretty good. I use my Axe 3 to evade their shield stun. And now I use the Staff 4 in melee to get the blind, but it was a little bit too late. They're going in stealth and trying to reset. And I'm just going to create clones. I'm ready for my burst, Axe 2. So here's going to be a triple shatter. I'm using the Torch 5, Torch 4. There's a triple shatter. I did another triple shatter. And now I've got a single shatter with the F1. And there you go. And now here's a 1v1 against a Harbinger. They just used their elite. I see that there's a Scrapper here too, and I want to go for them. So I'm going to use my Axe 2, create a clone, Axe 3, Axe 2 again. And I go in stealth, so I want to stay in melee range to get the Torch 4. But I actually back off instead of going for that because I see that the Harbinger is now back on me. And it looks like there's another coming in. So I want to use this stealth strategically. I stand still to pretend like I'm a clone just for a little bit because they'll figure it out very soon which one I am. But that small window of time where they don't know which one I am is enough to, peel for me a little bit. So now I'm going to go in for the kill on the scrapper, but they're kiting away, so I have to retarget to something else. It looks like the Tempest is here. The scrapper is coming back in, so I can go for them. I use the staff 4 in melee, and they just die from all the confusion there. I think my torch also was on them. So now I need to cleave this. And you can see the cleave on axe is actually really good with conditions. Usually Condi mesmers have really bad cleave. Axe gives you a lot of good cleave. So Condi Chrono is a lot more versatile in these situations where you're outnumbered. They can't just revive. So now we got that kill. I took a lot of pressure and lost some cooldowns because of it. So I need to back off. I can use my elite for stealth here, but I think I'm just going to blink away. Use axe 2. Okay, I'm going to use stealth as well. So they're going to back off. They know not to go for this, the mesmer that's in stealth. But I do want to go for the kill, because if I got a kill in a 1v3, I could probably get a kill in a 1v2. So I re-engage. On the Harbinger is probably a better kill than the Tempest. And I've got my Axe 2 ready, my Axe 3. The Torch 4 didn't land in melee range, so a little bit bad timing on my part. They've still got their stability, so I shouldn't have used the Staff 5 there at range. And I'm going to need to distort here because I'm taking a lot of pressure from the Tempest. My mirror is pretty nice for reflecting those projectiles. And I just used the Torch 5 at range because I'm just trying to bait some cooldowns. Now it looks like I have my Torch 4. I'm not going to go in for the melee burst there. I'm going to swap into Staff. So I'm just pressuring, baiting cooldowns, and trying to get clones for my next burst. In these larger scale fights, you're not going to be able to keep up your clones that easily. But if you do get them, you want to use them fast because they're going to die off very fast. So right there, I saw that I got a couple clones. So I immediately used my Continuum Split Burst. And then we got the kill on the Harbinger. And now I'm quite pressured, so I'm going to need to go in stealth, but I actually revealed myself because I wasn't careful about that. And the Tempest is on me. I think they're using, yeah, the Fire 2 skill, so I was taking a lot of burn there. And I have double dodge, kind of panicked because I have no cooldowns, and my weapon swap was barely coming off cooldown, so I'm actually going to be taken out by the Tempest. So you do have to be careful. Manage those Condi cleanse, but you kind of see how you want to play, where you look for those burst windows and then you go in really hard, back off with stealth and staff to kite, and then go back in. And that's pretty much how you play the Condi Chrono. So if you like this content, then please like the video, subscribe for more, and if you want to support me, obviously check the links in the description. And also, if you want to support me further, then check out the Patreon, also linked in the description. That being said, I will see you all next time.